What's up, everyone? Today we have with us a very special guest. Felix Cartal is a Canadian platinum hit and Juno award-winning EDM producer and DJ. Felix has now just released his fourth studio album on June 25th called Expensive Sounds for Nice People, and we're just very excited that he's here. Felix, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Excited to be here too.
Awesome. I know you're active on TikTok, and there's a video of yours that I stumbled upon where you're asking people,
Yo, so people keep commenting this on the remix that I did, and I don't know what it means because I'm old and I don't know how TikTok works. So
I'm just curious, have you figured out what that means?
I have. Apparently it's a dance on TikTok that I didn't know about. I'm like unaware of the dance side of TikTok, which is good for me. I know I make dance music, but I'm not like I'm not dance. I encourage people to dance, but if they follow me on TikTok and they're like hoping I'm gonna do a dance one day, it's like prepare to be disappointed.
I wake up in the morning, I'm disappointed.
I've been reading quite a bit about you. One thing that I noticed that stood out to me was that I haven't been able to find too much information on your stage name, but I did read that you like it when artists have names that sound genuine or that sound like an actual real name.
Ladies and gentlemen, Billie Eyelash.
Before I knew you, I thought that was your real name, so that's exactly what you did. But how did you land on Felix Cartal?
I honestly don't really have a story, unfortunately. I was very influenced by French, like electro and French house at the time. I was like a big fan of like Justice and stuff. You gotta remember, it's like MySpace era because I'm old.
It's all they wanted. They just wanted MySpace.
It wasn't like I'm like, so what's my artist name gonna be for the rest of my life? It was more so like, oh, I gotta make a MySpace today and like upload this random song I made. So I just picked something. It wasn't like this big decision. I didn't have a big board meeting about it or anything.
You don't always need a story, though.
That being said, even though it was very like of the moment and just a quick decision, I do like the name. So like I don't feel like I have to live with this horrible decision that I made. I think it's a cool sounding name.
You've earned yourself a couple of platinum hits and Juno awards. How does it feel to be a recognized artist in the Canadian music scene?
It's like so crazy humbling to like get awards like that, and especially like the platinum stuff. It still like trips me out a little bit that like people know my songs, I guess. Like sometimes I'll like read the stats online and stuff and I'm really proud of it, but I'm like, not like you see people listening to that song. So
you see numbers on a screen, and that's about it. So it doesn't quite kick in.
Totally. Honestly, like blows my mind every time it happens that people like a song or whatever. And I feel like as an electronic artist, it still is kind of a trip because it was so like underground and like not the main thing ever. So to have it like recognized on the level of more like pop music and stuff is really cool.
And what I like about your music is that I find that there is meaning behind the music or a storytelling narrative. So is that something that you strive to do when you're creating music?
Yeah, I think especially in the electronic industry, a lot of artists, they'll sort of like write an instrumental and like send it out, and then someone just sends back a vocal, and there's sort of like this disconnect. For me, like I love writing the songs. As I get better at production, I get to be put in rooms with people who are such better songwriters and lyricists than I could ever be, and just to have the chance to learn from those people is like so valuable to me. You know, at the end of the day, like I'll always try to like come in the room and like I'm like, let's write a song about this idea that I have, and then we'll workshop it together. But a lot of it is like personal stuff to me. You know, it is my album, even though I'm not like the one singing on every track. I still wanted to talk about like the things that I think about.
You just came out with a new album on June 25th. It's called Expensive Sounds for Nice People. How would you describe this album to someone who hasn't heard it yet? And is there a meaning behind the title? Like, what's an expensive sound?
Yeah, I would describe it as sort of like uplifting and grandiose production, maybe.
Grandiose. I like that word.
But with like some melodramatic lyric tones, because there's like even like Happy Hour, when you like read the lyrics, it sounds like the happiest song, but when you read it, it's kind of like low-key depressing. It feels more real to me if you do it that way. The album title is kind of like a two-pronged thing where I love like the Beatles. Sgt. Pepper's is one of my favorite albums, and I'm like, that's an insane title, like that's so crazy. Felt like I got permission thinking about that title to be like, oh, you can call your album whatever. There was that aspect of it, and then on the flip side, I think just because of the pandemic, I had some time to sort of like reflect about life.
Haven't we all?
When I think about what gives music value and stuff, it's like totally the people that share your music and are constantly like being a cheerleader. They don't have to do that. So I feel like really grateful. So I'm like the nice people who have supported me, like you're the ones that like make it expensive. So thank you.
On the flip side, what would like Cheap Sounds for Mean People sound like?
That's the follow-up album, Japan only release. You gotta like search the back and vinyl stores to find it. I don't know. That probably would be my first album because it was like made with so little money and so little skill that it's almost unlistenable.
And do you have a favorite song on the album?
I love every song so much. That's why they're on there. But I like Layover. It's kind of like it has no feature. And it's just kind of like this vibey track that has always like just been really nice to me. And I'm like, I don't know why I like this, but it's just like a vibe. You know, if you're not looking for like a more traditional pop arrangement, I think Layover might be a good track to try to like sell someone on me.
One of my favorite songs on the album is The Life. Like, it's an absolute summer anthem. It's one of those that are gonna make you cry once the summer's over and make you want to slap it under a montage and watch all your memories. But I saw on your Instagram that this is actually the song that inspired you to write the whole album, and the project's been in the works for 3 years. So tell us about that.
Yeah, I think it was kind of like, I don't know, I'm kind of like obsessed with vocal chops, sort of like become a signature for me. And kind of once I got that, felt very me and like iconic at the same time. Like the minute I finished, I was like, I know this is gonna be the first song on the album because of the first song feeling. I was like, okay, now I have to write an album. I always feel like when I'm writing songs, if I can sort of like stumble upon something that seems obvious, but like that I haven't heard a song about, then I feel like I've like really found something. The Life, it sounds like this like big grandiose idea, but I've like feel like I've never really heard a song like that in a weird way. I love how that song turned out, and I wrote it in Norway as well with Chris, Eric, and Isley, I'll shout them out. And I've written a bunch of songs with them over the years now, and love writing with them and working with them. They're so fun.
I guess when the world opens up, is there somewhere that you're really looking forward to performing when everything's back?
Yeah, I mean, I'm so excited to do festivals again. So I'm actually doing Beyond Wonderland in October, and it's at the Gorge in Washington State. And not everyone probably knows what the Gorge is like, but it's basically like you're on the edge of the Grand Canyon. I would say like the Gorge and Red Rocks are like definitely the two most beautiful natural venues in North America, at least. I can't speak for the whole world. I'm so excited to get out there again.
Is there anyone that you're looking to collaborate with in the future specifically?
I would love to do a song with Tove Lo. I've just been like a fan of her forever. And then vocalists that are like really exciting to me right now, I think like Benet, she's like really doing some cool stuff. Those are my two picks for right now.
You're quite the TikToker. So one of your sounds, Banned from the Gucci Store remix,
Louis Vuitton because I'm banned from the Gucci store,
has recently blown up. Maybe we can contribute to your next beat if you're up for it. I would love to share some sound bites with you that came straight from one of our other VJs, Quay. Tell us maybe which one would be the best to create a beat with.
Okay, we'll see.
Here's the first one.
Bet.
Here's the second one.
That's ludicrous.
And then the last one.
I cannot lie.
I think that's Ludacris probably has the most potential.
Okay, cool. I love it. Well, thank you so much for coming and chatting with us today. It's been really great to see what you've been up to recording this album, and super looking forward to see what you're doing next.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for having me.